Today, I interviewed Stahu and Kinga in Masterpiece Café, and I asked them the questions we all want to know about relationships. How do you handle it when you're not on the same page? In what ways can you build momentum together and create unity in your vision? And what about that intimacy? Does that fuel your goals or detract from it? We also touched on a few different areas of how intimate relationships can work together, i.e., whether we're enmeshed or whether we're entangled, and how we can actually be our best selves in relationship, owning our own sovereignty. I can't wait for you to meet Stahu and Kinga. They've created incredible spaces in their lives, and they're living the dream. They're living a masterpiece life, and success leaves clues. Watch how this couple interact, how they share each other's vision, and how they propel each other forward in this week's episode of Masterpiece Cafe.
Think we've got it. Thanks for
I
stopping the
think we
program.
have got this. I am so excited to have you both on here today, and it's going to be so special for everyone listening because Masterpiece Cafe is about the vision beyond the vision, and it's about living the masterpiece life. It's about all the choices that we make in rituals and relationships in our life, the decisions we make, our sacred choices that bring us either into expansion or into compression, right? And
Mm.
moving in the opposite direction. And for everyone who doesn't know Stahu and Kinga, they are just this amazing power couple. And what we're going to talk to them about today is about how they actually have, used their energy to create something what most people would think of as unthinkable. In fact, they have something right now they call unthinkable. So we're going to delve into these different things about how they use their energy and love to elevate each other and to build some remarkable things. And I'm so excited to dive into this and some of the things that we struggle with as couples, right? So, welcome to Masterpiece Cafe today and to this conversation with Stahu and Kinga.
Woo! Wow, what a beautiful intro. I love that, Cheri. Thanks for having us. I'm Kinga. This is Stahu.
I'm Stahu.
And I love the vibe you're setting up the tone right away of that highest vibration. Yeah, that beyond of the beyond. I mean, we can all try. We're not perfect. We're definitely struggling. Things are getting messy as always in each human's life. But this striving for excellence is something that gives us that limitless approach, and we want to go. We are like fueled with the right kind of source of power. So
Oh,
thank you.
yes. I love that. The fuel to go and the source of power that comes from your relationship. And what are your thoughts, Stahu, about that, like that fuel of power? How would you describe it?
Well, the way you started, you already said that how we are dealing with energy. And for me, it's not even how, it's like we are dealing with the energy. We are sourcing, we are creating, we are cultivating the energy. And in our opinion, and what we practice in life through the unthinkable approach is actually finding the right energy, finding the energy source, and just making it above all instead of like trying to assemble like one million strategies and techniques and tactics. It actually like show up with the right energy and
Mm.
then see what you actually need. If you need a couple of other like extra, I don't know, education pieces in your life, or maybe you don't need it all, like all these things that people try to sell us in the society. Maybe you
Right.
just need that good energy and just really go with this in your endeavors.
Yeah, it's so true. We get so many like outside influences, right, on cultural and expectations of what relationships should be like that we kind of bring in. And this is a great segue to this idea of a lot of couples struggle with this. Like, how do we maintain our individuality and also be in creation of a shared vision? And I'm excited to hear kind of your thoughts around this. I have a couple of notes on this of like, is it agreements versus expectations? Is it about rituals that really honor both? And I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are and how you guys manage this piece.
Well, so much to say. That's a great question. I'm thinking back to our original story. When we've done our first live book, it was 2019, and our little second child was in the crib, was like 2 weeks old. And we were going through that intellectual process of analyzing 12 categories of life. Yeah, that we all know is a very beautiful process. And for me, it was such a left brain activity. I was putting down the inventory of my life, and at the end, there is this activation exercise. And you're supposed to put all those spheres into one compelling vision and see that incredible, mind-blowing vision of yours for the next few years. And I was doing all the work, putting all the effort, and then the exercise was done, and I couldn't really tune in. and and Stan was sitting next to me,
Right.
and he
Right.
got into the zone. He got like a massive download from his intuition, from the right brain. He's seen the house, the piloting the plane, me waving at the car. Like he's seen the full picture, and I was so jealous because back then I was living in my left brain so much I couldn't let go. And this is where our story with Life Book and with the feminine, masculine energies really started, because we weren't aware of much more than that before. And it started with me being, in my second iteration of motherhood and realizing actually I've lost connection to my intuition and to my creative force. And Life Book was means of getting back to it. And so we shifted those energies. We decided consciously, like, I'm gonna now like really surrender and open up to this motherhood, to this creativity, femininity. And Stahu is gonna do his best to secure the structure and the endeavors in the world, and to do incredible things, but more like in a forward motion, what the masculine energy is, because he was always such a great blessing in the house, in the nest, building family, having kids, cooking. Yeah, he was like this guy, the vibey guy. And he also wanted to develop that other side. Would you agree? This was sort of like the beginning of that?
Yes, that was the beginning. And at the same time, probably what was like the baseline or our foundation of was our love, our feelings that we had. But we noticed that even that strong magnetic feeling that we had from early on was challenged by, some kind of life, sometimes very mundane situations, but also like everything that comes with life. And we have to find a response to that.
Right.
And our way of responding to that was usually me trying to grind something, or like you said, sometimes prepare at home as well. And you would be searching different ideas outside, and it would come naturally to you, to be open and to look for some new ideas. And the light book actually came from your interest in podcasts, back in 2018 or something around that. And then the dynamic between us was actually that when Kinga started to do something, then our love was helping us to get engaged together. So I was getting more engaged. And suddenly when I was speaking, there's something interesting that I, already trust, that I can also, that is good for us, that is good for Kinga, that is good for me. Then I was usually going ahead, like exceeding Kinga. So she then felt, oh my God, so he's already so far in that process or something. So she would be then going up. So, and we would be having that dynamic, but still really coming out of love and just caring for each other and trying to figure out so how more intelligently we would try to live so that beautiful feeling that we've we're blessed to experience in this life is actually finding its expression in our 3D reality around us. So yeah, that two things, like that aspect of the magnetizing love that we really didn't want to sacrifice, and then that like going, even when Kinga brought some new idea, then would be like verifying it, getting some trust, and then like going up one by one.
He would have been my highest support forever, like supporting and curating my path towards that empowered femininity, I must say. He was pushing me, he was helping me carve the environment for the rituals that I can get back to myself after babies. And it took a while. I'm not saying it was like a very easy process where I'm like, oh, I'm in my feminine right now. It has to do with so many other factors. It has to do with the fact we have both feminine and masculine, but also we are such unique human beings and self-expressions that, now listening to Stahu, it made me realize that we actually have those very specific human design types, enneagram types, like I'm the projector, he's the generator. So of course he would pick up my ideas and bring them, build them out in the world and so on. So it has such a complex meaning, how you're nurturing your feminine, your masculine, and how then you have the layer above that, how you can exchange in the relationship.
Yeah. And actually, this is a really interesting topic because a lot of couples struggle with this when we are trying to lead something together. We're leading a co-vision, and one person is leading and then the other person is not leading, and then that person is leading and the other person is following, and there's this dance, right, of the leader and the person following, and also this nuance of awareness of each other that comes in this really healthy dynamic that you guys are sharing with each other. And I'm just wondering if you can share, like, when are some times when like you guys weren't on the same page, and how did you get back to it? And how, like, when were some times that like that piece was, a challenge? And what have you figured out that has really, been something you return to, over and over because it works for both of you?
I'm sure there was so many. Is something coming to your mind?
Yeah, even recently, because we work also with couples, and just for us, we had so much trust and deep love to each other that working on our individual life visions was very like clear, and we knew that the important areas of life, like parenting, on our love, that there would be a lot of commonalities. And then everywhere else in our, like you said, our personality, our character, our career paths, and so on, that we can really take it like very individually, like very individually, and there will be no contradiction because we share, we verified that we share the same beliefs, that there are no contradicting beliefs that I carry and that Kinga is carrying, so that there's no some kind of difficult friction there, but then just because of us growing in our 20s, like together, we carried on like our lifetime, habitual behaviors and all of that.
Right.
And some of that was very outdated, but still it was present, So I remember one day we were just sharing with the client this Monday.
I know what you're gonna say.
That Kinga literally took her wedding ring and she took her engagement ring and she was like threw it down and said like, that's enough, and
That's a very personal confession, but it did happen 5 years into our marriage.
That's the whole point,
And I'm not a dramatic person at all, but I had this moment of like a tipping point that I need to preserve myself. I loved him to death, but at the same time we were overwhelmed by my life. And it was in a marriage, in a wedding of a couple that we liked, our friends, and in the morning I woke up with my little daughter, yeah, and it was again only me, and Stahu
Yeah.
was like, hangover, just like completely relaxed, not doing much, like, and I was always like this high achiever, like I'm ambitious, I want to
Yeah.
have early mornings, I want to like win life, I want to progress and develop and
But
so
I
on.
had like zero regrets, and I just completely couldn't understand. But what's the point? I was all my adult life like that.
Yeah.
So and we
And
that's how we met, and that's okay. It's that
don't even
special
think
occasion and
I wanted
all
to
that
leave him.
excuses.
I don't think I would ever leave you at that point, but I was just so over it that I needed to signal, myself like changing the direction in a more dramatic way, in a more drastic way, and be like, are you coming? Are you joining this spaceship or not?
Yeah,
So that was
but
funny.
I brought that example deliberately
Yeah.
because me seeing Kinga overreacting or actually reacting
Yeah.
appropriately to
Reacting
her level
deeply.
of being fed up, yeah.
Right.
Um, we had to ask that honest question, what it's all about, yeah. And the
Yeah.
lifetime habits, they were not in our dreams. They were not. That was just a regular behavior that has nothing to do with any ideals in our life,
Yeah.
with anything that we want to achieve in life, with anything
Right.
that we want in the future in our life. But they were just there. So we had to name them. We had to, like, for example, for me,
Hmm.
it was exactly the year before we did our first live book and before we became the parents for the second time. I just named it and said, okay, I'm gonna start to get up earlier because I don't know what she wants from me there in these mornings. She's doing
Right.
fine. She's cooking the breakfast, being happy in the morning. She's a more like early bird. I'm the night owl. But let's see. Maybe there is something. Yeah, let's just see.
Mhm.
There's love. There's
Yeah.
everything. So let's just scout the terrain, and I
Yeah.
have nothing to lose there. Yeah. So I put it as
Right.
a first as a aspiration. Then I, whatever, just studied some ways of actually making my physiology adapting to this kind of new
Hmm.
behavior. And obviously there was a massive win, yeah, because we can talk forever about why getting up early is beneficial, but
Yeah.
it was not about buying this like agenda of benefits. It was not about that. It was just about scouting what I can actually do to ditch my lifetime habit in order to, um,
Yeah.
like not to
Right.
respect, but also like really, I wanted to give my best to that love relationship that I had with Kinga,
Mhm.
and that was my driver. Just really, if I'm respectful, if I really believe this is something, and I really still believe this is the best thing that happened to me in my life, that I
Yeah.
can I can sacrifice a couple of interesting experimental months, yeah, and these months became years, and
Like you said, get really curious about each other in a moment when, maybe we have different ideas about the way to go forward, right? And how do we bring that together into that shared vision? Um, and I'd love to hear from you guys about the practices that you use with each other to do that.
To bring each other back to alignment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for me, it's really from my inner circle. So whatever I'm requiring from my love partner to do, to give me, to get, to be, I I need to first, like point that finger inside and check, am I giving it to myself? Am I actually able to secure that one thing for myself, because I have all the means to do that. And if I'm able to express and embody from that state, then he will notice it. It's on a vibrational level, on a attraction-based level. It's more like that for me. And
Mm.
very often is something that I want and I'm not verbalizing yet in front of Stahu. He knows that. I'm embodying it and I'm kind of starting to implement that into my world. And like with the dance, yeah, I discovered that passion of mine for after 20 years, getting back to it. And I think it was thriving and blossoming in me for at least 2 years or even 3 years until he suggested, so why don't you put it for as an overriding goal for this year?
Right.
You know, so I was flirting with that idea and I was living it already, and it sprouted in my mind that it's gonna be my year enhancer, like this dancer identity,
Yeah.
and
Mm,
it's gonna pour into all the other spheres. But I didn't have the guts to say that until he
right.
did, you know. And it was so beautiful because he knew it's gonna be beneficial to all of us. It's gonna
Oh,
feed
yeah.
into all of us.
Exactly, yeah. So instead of choosing the logical, oh, focus on the career or focus on
Yeah.
some other parenting, education, these things can be done with ease if you master your art. Yeah? If you are then
Mm,
in your
mhm.
zone and you are beaming that energy, or
Yeah.
you just feel that energy. So then everything else is like, oh yeah, sure, I need to do my tax return or some other stuff. These things then just don't be in front of you like this big, boogeyman. They're suddenly just like things that you, yeah, dismantle like in a second, yeah.
What are some of your healthy routines and rituals of getting
I,
back
I
to yourself?
I really like that idea of pointing the finger to inside.
Mm.
That we love that because
Mm,
anytime I would have any pretension or any like I would expect from you to whatever do or
Mm.
change something, then I would first just say, okay, so why do I even come
Yeah.
with that? Yeah, and
right.
how does that actually how I represent that particular wish
Mm.
or
Quality.
what else like I was basically leading my life up until now. So I'm in that situation when someone is showing it to me, something that is itchy, something that is inconvenient. So
Yeah.
basically I created that situation for myself. So now it's time to do something special about it by myself, and then only see if there is something left to talk with the other part. And in like 99% of
It's a
cases,
void.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I address it first by myself from
Mm,
within, then it turns out that the whole thing just dissolved,
It's like
and
yeah.
magically.
everyone got elevated by like
Mhm.
like a morphic field, feeling the right tune, yeah, the right frequency, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. There's so
um
many times when I feel like there's something that I am feeling a little, maybe just a little niggle on, in our conscious relationship, and I will look at myself and go, well, what is it, within me that is, actually generating this? And like you said, 99% of the time, by the time I've gone inward and actually thought about that thing and asked, okay, well, what's this about? Oh, it's actually about freedom, or it's about my own freedom or my own agency. It actually has nothing to do with Tim. And how do we stay in that intuitive sense of our partner that is so beautiful? And then recognize when it is a projection.
Mm.
I
Mm.
can start.
Yeah, please. I'm feeling it.
It's
I love
very
that
simple.
question.
Sweat, tears, and convulsions. When you notice this tree, you know you're on something, yeah?
Yes,
And
right.
that's worth like, doesn't matter if that means throwing the, wedding ring away, or actually her being so sweaty and happy, like
Ah,
beaming from the tiredness of the first, dance training in 20
right.
years,
Yeah.
and just knowing, okay, this is a gold mine. And that just, there's
Mm.
nothing to analyze, nothing to prove,
Yeah,
nothing to defend. Just you see her beaming, you see there is like a really higher emotional state as well. And then just the only question or the only request is like, if you ever stop doing this, I'm leaving, and that was my answer to
right.
her. That I told her, if she ever quit dancing again, we cannot be together.
Yeah.
Like I cannot be with someone without
Can you
cultivate
imagine? I'm living with that fear every day.
cultivating that passion. Yeah.
And so you're dancing even more.
I have to. It's, like my
Yeah.
my life at risk.
And the intuition here was that I actually didn't explain it. I felt it as well, that there's so much more meaning, a deeper meaning in cultivating that special passion. And I was once even laughing. It didn't have to be dance. She could be
Right.
doing origami, every day. If
Right.
she's happy with origami and that would be her, she would be that driven while doing that. I really wouldn't mind. It's just like the need of being in, like, thriving in excellence in something, and having that, engaging of all your senses and your body and your
Yeah,
speech and your mind.
that's it for me. Yeah.
That was something that just, that doesn't have to be explained, and you feel it. So you resonate as well by being next to person being in that, yeah.
Yeah,
was-
yeah,
Like being
because you
with
see that.
performer on stage, or
And
Right.
just to build on that, like I would just add that we have massive advantage as life bookers, having thoroughly thought about our life process
Right.
for at least 40 hours or probably a few years now, that it's like this framework and your own content in it is kind of like a guarantee to me that I'm not gonna wake up and be like in that overthinking analysis paralysis where I have like suddenly I have no idea what to do with my day, and my sneaky mind, my intellectual thing will talk me into different ideas. So as the more I notice, the more we progress into the personal growth journey, the more sophisticated our logical justifications of why we cannot do something are. Like,
Right.
I really, my inner child needs pampering today, or my shadows, or, like I need to spend 3 hours in yoga nidra right now to replenish my energy. So it's like
Right.
when you really, when you put it together with your life vision that you have really put so much energy and consciousness to, and you put your daily goals and sacred choices into the present moment, you know what to do, and you don't need that overthinking and that sneaky voice that says you're too small to do that, maybe tomorrow, maybe not enough, or it can just be laughed at, because after a while you notice it's just fake and it's not bringing you anything of value, not anything beneficial, because I've already thought about this process once, and now it's really down to the senses, like Stahu said, the sweat, the tears, the laughter. It really, the human inside is kind of rebellious, and I'm always like facing the fact that at those moments of crisis or of the confusion, that I want to kind of
Right.
hold back, or I'm trying to trap myself and my vision, and I'm coming up with all the logical reasons for that.
Right.
I need to get back to my body, and whether that's like a beautiful hike that you suggested, like for 3 hours in the forest, where I'm really like becoming myself in the knowing again, or going to bed with Stahu for 3 hours, which belongs to one of our, partnership rituals every week. It is very cathartic, right? It is very sensual. It's like a full body reset. And I can't imagine having an argument that won't feel like a drop in the ocean after that.
Right, right, because that's the bigger picture of your love and relationship, and it's like you're connecting to that embodied knowing of who you are, and the embodied knowing of who Stahu is, and that coming together. Yeah, that's so true. I'd love to hear more about these rituals, your monthly rituals, your daily rituals that keep the energy between you two alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for years we're practicing our connection dates and moments during the day, and it would be usually always after breakfast when also situation at home with children was settled, yeah, and then we would just really connect, and there were different phases of that, but so we cannot recommend one specific way of doing it. It's all about finding your own ways, but also what's needed in you that
Specific stage of life.
period or
Yeah.
stage of life, yeah.
Season.
Because sometimes you need energy, sometimes maybe you need talk about like pragmatic stuff in your weeks, because that's that kind of phase. But sometimes you just need to really connect emotionally on a deeper level, to really get again on some like balanced level, yeah.
Yeah.
And about our love dates, yeah, that are like our like weekly ritual. That's the whole thing, that we are inspired by other couples that had that kind of like weekly outing, maybe overnight, maybe in some different form. And for us,
Yeah.
it turned out to be the whole day Tuesday love day for ourselves. Then we will be anticipating it already like on, Monday evening, and then we would know that it is gonna carry us until the end of the week.
Right.
But we don't recommend it to anyone. We actually recommend to step into the process, which is part, for example, of the live book process, and then
Yeah.
some additional like soul searching and within the couple, that's ultra
Yeah.
important to also like align it together. So what works for us, but doesn't mean that it's easy. Yeah, for us to like create a weekend day in the middle of the week was against all the social norms, but that's how we practice our
Yeah.
unthinkable, because we thought, okay, if we don't do it now, if we don't like
Right.
really proactively
Nurture our relationship.
nurture our love, then we'll just show to ourselves that it's like average, like everything else, like
Right.
out there in life, yeah.
Right.
And we wanted it to be our temple, to the place of replenishing the energy, of just bringing us more fresh view on everything, like of tackling everything that shows up in our life, from finance to some child things, to children things, to some relationship outside of us, yeah. That we were even like sometimes like bending almost like the reality, and instead of making the even like the sex that holy thing that is only like all about love and so on,
Yeah.
we'll be saying, yeah, like, okay, we are in the challenge period, or we have some month that is like difficult in some subject, and we'll be, let's just bring it to bed, let's just address it, and just
Workshop it.
because we will not pretend that suddenly we
Yeah.
are out of the problem, and we'll be kind of faking our mood or things like that. That was not,
And I
that
think
doesn't
that's the
work. So
key. Yeah.
yeah, so we go all exactly against the stream, against everything that is telling us, to be under pressure, to accept that kind of resistance or things like that. We are like, no way. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
And that's what actually having the love partner means to me, and I think for Kinga too, that
Yeah.
that we can count on each other in that case. Yeah, that if one of us feels some whatever resistance, then there's the other one to actually,
Yeah.
okay, what you want to try today? I'm with you. Let's go. Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. It has so many faces and phases. Like we have put so much work into that relationship, but it's like an exciting piece of work. I would say the same about our kids. Yeah, we are not choosing the easy way, but we're choosing the most simple way, in a way that's matching our values. So we don't accept just getting the rest of ourselves, but we just want the best to be offered to the person that we love. And, we are working together as coaches. We are raising the kids in homeschooling together.
Wow.
We are playing the instruments together. We are traveling. We have our retreats and journeys all around the world together. And we have, for mostly we are love partners, yeah, together. So it is easy to let that sneaky bitch in and the voice like, I'm busy right now on my phone. And sometimes these days we laugh at each other because we're waiting in the morning to have our morning round around the house, go out to the nature and to, synchronize. And
Yeah.
sometimes there is like a little task that sneaks in. Then Stahu has some, he's looking at me, okay, she's busy, so I'm gonna do one more thing and
Right.
I'm gonna do one more thing. And then we're like getting, an hour later, we're like, where have we been? And it's about the presence, really,
Right.
about
Right.
just attentiveness and presence with one another and noticing that other person.
Yeah, being in the present moment. And it's just like when we go out into nature and we spend that time that actually just gets us out of the future and the past and all the to-do lists and into the present moment of what nature actually brings us, which is we're noticing the leaves twirling. And I'm looking out the window right now because where I'm at, there's leaves in the trees, right? We notice the leaves twirling and we notice the wind on our face. And suddenly we're back in our bodies instead of into the
Yeah.
task. I love that because it really is about, well, it's about the conscious creation, right? There's a physics law that if a closed system doesn't actually receive energy from the outside, it disintegrates. And I think that if we talk about like that closed law, and I know John and Missy have talked about it too, and that we're all trying to live that life and create this conscious relationship. If we're not putting that energy in, like you're talking about, of just being really present and aware of like, our partner and putting energy into it, like you guys are, then relationships tend to devolve into, well, now we've got the kids, we've got the work, we've got the to-do list, we've got financial pressure. And so all those things end up taking forefront instead of the presence with each other and the energy we're putting consciously into that future that we're building together, but also the life that we're actually living right at this moment. So I absolutely love that. That's so beautiful.
Well put, sister. Am I allowed to add one more thing?
Yeah, add, please.
I just have I know it sounds cliche, but gratitude. Gratitude is
Oh,
such a source of power, guys. And it's not,
yeah.
I don't want to sound jargony with that, keep the daily gratitude ritual. But really, the more you grow in a relationship and as an individual being, giving thanks and actually taking in
Mhm.
everything that's happening and not taking it for granted that I'm sitting here, flesh and bones, next to you, heartbeat, life pulse. I'm receiving his whatever electromagnetic field,
Yeah,
and I'm just taking that in. And it's so special to,
it
to
is.
be able to be alive on the
It's so
planet right
magical.
now, just holding and allows to grow and taking in and growing that container or the capacity of our nervous system to then be able to do bigger things, to overcome obstacles, to really multiply and amplify who we are in the world.
What's an example? And I totally agree with this gratitude. I think of it as the gratitude flip. And I Stephen Hussey, is Matthew and Audrey's brother, and he's really brought the gratitude flip to like in terms of like mentoring me, in terms of the gratitude flip to my life, right? So if any moment I'm feeling a little anxious or I'm feeling a little, discouraged or in the relationship itself, right? Something specific to the relationship, or I want him to do this or that, or I'm feeling like I'm not doing this or that. As soon as I go into gratitude and I start thinking about all the things I'm grateful for in the relationship, the energy between us, the touch between us, the things that we're building together and creating together, the values we share, like my emotion flips. And I think of it as the gratitude flip. And I don't think of it as cliche anymore. I think of it as a tool that I literally use every day in my relationship with myself and in my relationship with my fiance. And I think that you guys use it. When I've been on the trips with you guys, I see you flipping to that gratitude. So I'd love for you to like, what's an example that comes right to mind of like using that for both of you to flip maybe something that maybe was, a little, maybe you were a little anxious or a little nervous or, whatever that was into, my God, I feel so powerfully grateful right now and in love for having this experience.
Yeah, it's everything. Like I'm even thinking about the day to day. It could have been considered packed, but when I like retrospectively, we got up, we drove to the south coast to an amazing hotel for our weekend retreat in January. We were cruised on a trolley by this amazing woman showing us around, explaining, laughing, talking, exchanging. Then our daughter texted us that she graduated from her current math year, being, almost October isn't even finished. She already graduated the whole year. She's into the next grade. Then the kids were playing violin upstairs. We ate a cake baked by our daughter, and now we're
Wow.
sitting with you overlooking like this beautiful sunset, clouds and forest, and you're shining your warm light to us. It's really hard not to, and it takes so little to stop for a moment and to be able to really see that this all comes from the overflow, and you're expanding and you're opening it, and just from that place you can really grow, right? Like I'm always bringing that Bruce Lipton. I think he's um what's the university?
Probably Stanford, but
Stanford
Yeah.
University, or
maybe.
yeah, he's like the professor, and he works on a cellular level. He's examining the cells, and
Right.
there's like two states that a cell can be in. It's either in protection or in
Correct.
growth. Yeah,
Right.
so, and the same for us. Like we can't be in the defense mode and be like
Yeah.
building walls around ourselves and grow at the same time. We have to really like decide the safety is there, decide like we are safe, and just
Right.
open up to
Yeah.
even the unknown, open and decide to expand and grow and develop. Otherwise, we're not getting that extra energy
Right.
to our circuits, right? And our systems are slowly dying. Yeah. So it's
Right.
a
Right.
longevity recipe out there. What do you think?
Hmm. I think that's a very beautiful example, and even like practicing it daily, just actually like what we always did with our children. We sit by the dinner, and
Right.
children, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, are too small for psychological language, and
Yeah.
we don't want to twist their brains about what do we mean by these weird words. So we
Right.
just ask them, what was the best today for you? What are you
Yeah.
happy about?
Mm.
Mm.
And whenever the line of answers like showed up, then we would be eventually seeking the deeper answer and what you're happy about yourself, like
Right.
what did you
Right.
do to yourself.
Mm.
And but that doesn't apply only to children. It's also like my twist to the whole gratitude approach, that and it's almost like balancing that extreme ownership approach, that the full responsibility approach, that when I turn that finger inside and I'm saying, okay, I'm responsible for even all this inconvenient stuff happening in the relationship from the other side, but then I work on my side, but then at the same time I'm grateful for whatever I was able to deliver
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
myself, like how I created the whole lifetime, accumulation of experiences that are now resulting in that beautiful life.
Mm.
So instead of creating some kind of like a long list of the debts that I have against
Yeah.
outers,
Right.
powers, I'm actually grateful to myself for, you know, how beautiful it is that I can still spin on that globe, yeah, that I'm part of
Yeah.
it, and it's like really,
Mm.
and when you look outside, then it's never again like that abstract thought.
Yeah.
It's actually, you can see it, yeah, you can notice it in things. And yeah, that's so that turning it into to inside and thinking that even if you are sometimes really grateful that something happened to you
Yeah.
from outside, but you are a big part of it, yeah.
Right.
Even being, like you said, present to be able to notice
Yes.
things
Yeah.
that otherwise would be just like bypassing you, like
Yeah.
really,
Exactly.
and you can see yourself in the past, like how many things just, were
Oh,
not,
so many.
despite them being in the right proximity, you were
Yeah.
not connecting with them in any
You don't
ways,
see
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever you notice this and you notice the changes you are like proactively
Mm.
um, setting up, for
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and you are going with them, yeah, you are really
Yeah.
applying, I love that word, volition, yeah, you are
Mm.
really like not just theorizing about stuff and taking decisions and then waiting for the right, you're
Right.
actually, the moment you have to improve something, you are already one foot in the action, into actually
Mm.
doing the first little thing that you can do. And that's what makes like gratitude on the next level. Plus, I like that expression that basically your self reputation, your auto reputation is something
Right.
that actually propels you for the next, yeah, for the next move,
Yep.
that you don't then get the energy from outside, but you are the source of your own energy to that next
Mm.
move.
Yeah.
And that's for
Yeah.
me, it's very helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And we
love
practice
that.
that with clients as well, and we see amazing results. Like everything we spoke from the beginning, like living that way.
Yeah.
Imagine living that way for 6 months on 1 year, and you can't, you rub your eyes and you can't believe, how dynamically you can
Yeah.
like make massive leaps
Yeah.
in the quality of your everyday life, and the feeling of actually, you
Yeah.
sometimes really have to scratch your head. So what do they mean? But that overwhelm or that kind of stress.
Right. Because you're not
Yeah.
experiencing it, because now you're seeing the magic and
But the
you're,
situation, life is showing up. Life will
yeah.
be liking to you. Things will be showing up,
Right.
Mm.
but your attitude to them is different. And
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
pretending like now, oh, the financial authorities are not, do not apply to me. No, you are just showing up different, or diseases or some other things that you usually consider you don't have any power over them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you decide you're anticipating your life. You
Yeah.
decide you're
Mhm.
anticipating all the lessons and challenges ahead,
Yeah.
and you get to. That's the biggest shift for me, like
I believe like
reframing.
we choose. I mean, we literally
Mm.
choose in every moment what we're
Yeah.
going towards and what we're going away from. And to your point, Stahu, it's like, when we are able to be aware, that awareness of the magic is a shift
Mm.
within ourselves and their relationship to it, right? And it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like there's so much magic around me that I can actually see now that, I say this often, like we're the architects of our experience. And I think that life book, plays into that, is like creating that, choosing consciously the things that we're going towards and the things that we're going away from. And
Mm.
that piece has completely changed my life, like, and my gosh, in such a short period of time. And so I totally resonate with that feeling. And I think a lot of times people feel like, oh, and then in relationship, why can't we get here? Why are we stuck here at this space? So why can't we get to this magical place that I hear about? And it comes back to this also presence, but also the intimacy that we share, right? Because in relationship, I think we also need that intimacy that that actually becomes this cornerstone to the relationship. And I'd love to talk about how, the passion and lovemaking can actually enhance our ability to create success in the world, to drive our own, masterpiece life.
How much intimate you want to get?
Yeah, let's go. I mean, like,
That's the question.
Let's start with the neurobiology and
yes.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's a
like
big topic.
we love to be, I can express it very simple. We love to be high on air. We love to be high without any substances.
Yeah.
Just
Our brain can do that, right? It can emit,
Ah.
it can actually create DMT.
But
just-
I don't like that it was a joke.
We're not
with
going there.
We are not going into the neurobiological because there's always an explanation, scientific
Right.
explanation. But if you
Right.
need all these proofs and all that explanations, then
Take away.
probably I would still propose some kind of experience first,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
only, okay, you really want to understand what just happened, then okay, you can read some books about it. There's people beautifully explaining, what happens with all the beautiful concoction of all the hormones and other substances that you
Right.
have in your brain that are, unusual, all the frequencies and all the things. But we don't need to over intellectualize it. It's just to actually, experience how it affects the reality of next days, and this is not
Yeah.
naive, pink goggles that you are suddenly putting on yourself and seeing things like, a little bit like that kind of high, but you are literally, you walk on the street and people respond to you differently, yeah?
Yeah.
So, and you
Totally.
sit somewhere and suddenly someone like someone unbelievable show up with, for example, with the question or with something in front of you, or you
Right.
Let me give you an idea. Last weekend, I think I wrote it on our mastermind. We went for the beach and we went surfing. Stahu went surfing with our
Yeah.
oldest one. And the youngest one, he just learned to swim. Yeah, he's 6. And then we
Right.
see this guy in a yellow shirt in the water. And Stahu was like, hey, there's a surf instructor. Let's
Right.
go approach him. And I'm without much overthinking. I was in that overflow. Definitely. I was like receiving the vibes, the ocean, the beautiful sun. And, I went into to talk to him and I just said like, hey, do you want to play with our little one for 15 minutes? Like he would like to learn how to surf. And first he
Yeah.
was a bit shocked and his friends were like looking weirdly. But then he looked at me and was like, yeah, sure. Okay. Actually, I have a sister at his age. And then he took Eddie. They went on a
Um,
surfboard. He was holding him all the time, having so much fun,
oh, wow.
praising the kids. He then lent the board to our daughter. And after that, we had a nice chat by the shore, just watching Stahu surfing. And he said, like, actually, I'm not a surf instructor. And I said, I had no idea, really, like, because I was really in that element that I was
Right.
expecting him
And
to
Yeah.
be.
you
And
see
Wow.
he was
someone's
so happy. I got him some cash for lunch, and he was living in the van next to the coast.
But that gives you such
Beautiful
a
connection.
clarity and connection with some
Yeah.
things that I don't want to just reduce to chemicals in your brain, but you can see clearly someone's potential. And that's
Yes.
priceless. Yeah. I see
Yeah.
that guy and I know he will be just, I can step back as a father because I don't want to struggle with my boy, me teaching him
Yeah.
something that he doesn't know. Give him that hero that stands there and that he will bring him into, so
Yeah.
I named him the surf coach because
It's
he,
like
he had a funny t-shirt that looked like he's
Mm.
the instructor, yeah. But then it was in a moment, eh? It was like
Yeah.
a act of
Yeah.
intuition that you just know that
Mm.
that guy will be, the right person. And of course, it turned out that he has what, like 9 or 10 siblings, right?
yeah.
And they
Yeah.
are all homeschooled and
Right.
something. So he was much higher than a surf instructor. It was like an
Yeah.
angel
Yeah.
that was just showed up there
Yeah.
to gratefully, make it all
Like a
like a
beautiful
perfect,
experience.
Yeah, and I think
Yes.
I think you're getting at something that I truly think is really important is that that intimacy and lovemaking and being on that vibration with each other, that it allows you to actually see that vibration in other people, and also the trust that you have in each other that's becomes from that deep intimacy. For me, like the deep intimacy allows me to be on this platform where I can go out and do things, and we can do things together where they're really like we can go in different directions and really feel this trust in what we're creating and what we're doing and what we're building individually. And in the story that you just shared, like I'm thinking about like, wow, how your intimacy and that vibration that you were on, and for a long time. And I have a commitment to a ritual where we literally once a week we have, like 3, 4 hours to have intimacy. There's no time cap on it. And when you're in that vibration, like you can come out of that and now you can see other people's potential and you can give love on a whole nother level because you've been in that vibration. Do you feel like that is what you shared with me, that scenario has those elements in it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you're reciprocating that. You're projecting that the highest vision on other people and all the life situations actually. You're anticipating the good things to happen in your life instead of avoiding the past.
Right.
it,
Yeah.
it has so many layers,
Years.
it's
Yeah.
inspiring, it's the energy is inspiring, it's protecting, it's
Mm.
allowing you to share
It's healing.
from the
Oof.
with ease, with the flow, right? But it's
Yeah.
like what I mean by protecting is also like things that otherwise would be maybe like attaching to you, suddenly they're just like,
They're just sliding
over,
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
sliding off, and
Mm.
you don't really,
Mm.
you're not bothered by them in many ways. And it might sound like very simple, but there's something more to that. It's deeper, yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has to do with that, we have come up with that 4x formula for our own plateau
Yeah.
iteration, next level of growth, next cycle growth. And the third one in that process is the the power of getting exposed, because
Mm.
that's what you're doing. You're in a way showing up in front
True.
of your partner in a way that this is me.
Wow.
Like, this is truthful. I'm going through this and I'm not gonna color and filter here. Like, take it or leave it, but I need you to know I'm just speaking from my truth. I'm being alive, and that's what's real and what's vulnerable for me. And then it feels so good to be received in
Mm.
that full picture, in that full experience. Yeah. And you know getting exposed has such a, like, it's really you, the training. Yeah, it's like, again, repeating it and training with yourself about who we are, reminding ourselves of who
Right.
we are. And the more we allow ourselves to detach from the result of being received in any particular way, and judged or evaluated, the more we realize it's really safe to be myself, and it's safe to say my truth also to the
Mm.
outside world.
Mm.
And yeah, by the fact that you don't need to anymore put some etiquettes and labels on yourself.
Right.
You're shining more your true light from within. Yeah, and it's exciting, and it's like a self-fueling source that you found within yourself and
Yeah.
within the relationship. That's like a sanctuary for that, right? That's like a healing source of that. I don't know. There is something. It's hard to
I love
explain.
that. I was not thinking about it from the vulnerability aspect and also the protection aspect. And those two pieces, like it makes total sense, right? Because it allows you to be vulnerable outside in all the things that you're doing, individually and together with other people. And it's like this foundation that you've built. And yeah, wow, I was sitting here just thinking, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. And now I'm just thinking there's a whole nother layer. Um, the protection piece, I would also love to hear more about that from you, Stahu, because the protection, when you said that, I thought, okay, it's like you're building this almost like a shield around yourself in energy, right? Tell me more.
I would maybe additionally describe it as some sort of unforced resilience, that you're so centered and so grounded and so connected with something that is way beyond even that chemistry in your brain, and way beyond just like what we can describe here with words. You have your own experience of something that is beyond physicality, beyond
Yeah.
yeah, like conceptual approach, so that you are connected with that, and that gives you so much grounding and so much power that nothing just clips to you, like, there's no, even if there's like some hooks, trying to get you, there's like no ring from your side that they will have anything to you cannot identify with this. You
Right.
identify with your like inside with your values, with yourself, with your core that was present in that experience, and then that outside whatever agendas or some attempts from
Mm.
people, environment, whatever, it's just like you cannot like reflect yourself in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't resonate with that.
Does it have
Yeah.
to do with what I think Muhammad Ali said at one point, that I'm protecting your vision instead of protecting your fears? That's the clue. And
Mm.
what we've been observing with our clients and with ourselves, that we are like advocating for protecting their potential, because it's so
Right.
easy to get overstimulated, distracted, and actually blocked by some scarcity, some lack
Right.
from that highest vision. And it's again that feeling of clenching and
Right.
closing and contracting. And what we want to do is building the life from our highest potential, because we believe like really not many people even brush against their fullest potential. It's so
So true.
wasted in the society because we
Mhm.
get to live like everyone else. And we are just choosing from the fear, choosing from the past, instead of
Yeah.
choosing from excitement and expansion, yeah, and from the vision.
Hmm.
That's why our role, like as we see ourselves as coaches, we get to remind our clients what they are aiming at,
Yeah.
and not anchoring them back, like, be careful, this thing hurts you
Yeah,
once.
but you
It
being
may have
you
did.
being grounded in that
Yeah.
sexual energy that is very creative is like
Yeah.
direct connection to that
The
place of
creative force.
self-expression,
Yes.
from the expression and mastering
Yeah.
certain
Mm.
skills in life or
Yeah.
certain arts. You can jump up to the next level of
Yeah.
Yeah.
exposing yourself with
Yeah.
others in ways that are, like you said, Cheri, very like vulnerable. And yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say that protection is that one side that is like
Yeah.
amazing of that energy can like provide, and again you don't
Yeah.
need to over explain it or over intellectualize. It's just you observe how it works. Yeah.
Mm.
But then that you are able to multiply things, you are able to share things with others outside, as that another aspect of it. And
Right.
it also connects to gratitude, because you are super grateful, and you are not
Yeah.
just practicing an exercise of gratitude that could be like one step to even meet the phenomena, but you are
Right.
actually you are a grateful person. You feel it from within.
Mm.
So
Mm.
from that place, it's so easy to give. It's so easy to share and multiply. And like I kind of like I have a Buddhist background, like I
Yeah.
meditate lay Buddhism for over 20 years, but then I specifically just to even be able just to exercise it, to be able to communicate better with my wider pool of clients. I look recently to the examples from the Bible that I remember from my childhood, but
Yeah.
I was I now in older age I started to respect even more the psychological meanings, like the hidden meanings, in the Bible. So I was like really curious how it worked with in those some myths or legends, like in this,
Yeah.
holy texts, yeah. And giving thanks, like you said, and then being able to share it with others, just
Mm.
create psychologically creates that beautiful like return flow
Yeah.
that you are creating abundance and you know what it is. So the portal is like, two-way street. So we are
Yeah.
also receiving, and
Mm.
that's encoded like in the Bible in so many examples. But I specifically look Old Testament, New Testament, and the Jesus when saying thank you to the God, and then whatever he
Yeah.
had, he was trying to share on the one of these weddings there, and then suddenly it was more than enough for everyone, and he
Yeah.
created the possibility to, make it, yeah,
Mm.
make
Yeah.
the situation very
There's,
abundant.
I
Yeah,
think he said then he was able to for the life to enter because he
Right.
yeah.
increased his container of
So that's the
thanks.
psychology behind by gratitude
Right.
and practicing generosity, you
Mm.
are expanding your capacities.
Yep.
So by expanding your capacities, you are literally creating bigger gateway for more life to enter
Yeah,
Right.
that's the return
your
flow. Yeah.
capacity. Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean, I love that
I love
connection.
that.
I mean, I love that connection to the spirituality of it because it is about a bigger creation, and opening a vessel for creation together, but it's also about giving and receiving, like being able to receive and to give. And it's one of the most beautiful things I can say about relationship, and you two do it so well. And I have absolutely loved this conversation. We've covered a lot of territory, but I really want to close with like, what would you, as a couple, what do you want to say to other couples that are creating, beautiful things in the world and sharing this love energy? Maybe what's something you each want to say that you feel is just absolutely grounded in them, being the best that they can be?
Mm. Stay open. That comes to my mind. Like really allowing the life and light to enter is staying open. And
Yeah.
each of us will have a different tool or different strategy to do that. But for me, it's really just closing my eyes for a second, and with breathing, I'm allowing life to enter. And it's like a mantra that I repeat and stay open, stay open. And I can even feel it on a somatic level. So my chest is bigger, my shoulders roll back.
Right.
And that way, I feel like I'm replenished like instantly. And I think in the busyness of life, this is the most efficient tools are the ones that, first of all, work instantly. So you can micro adjust in those moments. You can catch
Yeah.
yourself in the moment in between before shouting at your child and like for,
Mm.
doing too much before you lose the temper. You can pause, close your eyes, and really take that in.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's not coming from the outside. So it's
Mm.
not a tool that you again have to open your phone and find the right creator and then like tune into someone else's vibe. It's coming from within. You can really
Yeah.
connect with yourself instantly, and that makes it so powerful. So that's That's my little
I love
tiny
it. That is so beautiful and so well put, Kinga. How
And
gem.
about
that
you,
beautifully,
Stahu?
yeah, that beautifully connects with the other aspect that probably was the first thing that we noticed about each other when Kinga was 21 and I was 24, and that was the mutual wish for growth for each
Yeah.
of us individually.
Mm.
And that meant that I'm not attached to who she is right now, but I know that she, as for example, as a dancer, she will grow, and I really wish
Yeah.
her, and I want to see her next phase, her next iteration.
Yeah.
And this year, this summer, when we were celebrating the anniversary, 15th anniversary of our best friend's marriage, and his 40th birthday,
Yeah.
someone mentioned that beautiful quote. I don't remember who was the author, but that we will all be in the at least 2 or 3 relationship, love, like deep love relationships in this life,
Yeah.
but not everyone will be mm, granted that blessing of
Yeah.
having that relationship with the same person.
Those
Right.
iterations
Right.
of
Yeah.
that same person.
So
Yeah, I
I
love that.
think that Kinga is in her, probably I'm meeting her now in her third
Mm.
big, cycle of just becoming someone else, and I love every next even more, and that growth, like you said about the body cells, that being in the open mode and
Yeah.
cultivating the open mode is the
Mm.
growth mode.
Mm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's, for me, it's a best recipe of against boredom, about against just getting routinely bored in the relationship, is
Yeah.
actually constantly growing,
Mm.
but
Hmm.
not chasing, but really growing in the best way.
Yeah.
Opening to your calling,
Yeah,
to your highest purpose,
yeah,
because
Yeah.
that's what actually energizes you instead of overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. And growing together, having a growth mindset was something that
Mm.
John Gottman and his wife studied deeply. They studied couples and they looked at couples that stayed together for a long time. And they looked at couples that didn't. And one of the keys with that was these these micro moments of growth together. And
Yeah.
not only micro moments of affection, but growing and changing together and seeing those new phases, right? Like, and
Yeah.
as you say, like having the same relationship with the same person as you grow, because as we evolve and grow, we change.
Mm.
And I think that's so beautiful. And this has been so amazing to be and just to hear your trust, the vibration you're sharing with each other, the things you are creating in the world. I want people to know about some of the things that you're creating. So maybe let's just take a moment and share some of the amazing things that you're creating this year together that people can be a part of. It could be a part of your energy.
Mm. Wow, thank you so much. It's been such a soothing, warming, illuminating space for our hearts. I so blessed to be here. Thank you.
thank you very much, Cheri.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's a life for us?
Yeah.
So much, but
We're very, very happy about our ongoing mastermind with a group of amazing individuals just striving in their lives in very, like, absolutely various, like, directions. So it's not just business, but there's also, like, yeah, mm, all kind of aspirations that they are, like, sharing that beautiful energy behind it to, and they affect each other with that energy to actually strive for their goals. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that beautiful space is growing so beautifully, so organically,
Yeah.
and the returns and all the results are just mind-blowing. And that's why we're also organizing another retreat in the middle of January in Portugal, here in the
Wonderful.
south, in the place that Kinga mentioned before, that we just, we're taking our children there for like almost 2 years every Sunday. And we so much love that place. We have a lot of pictures there, and we just thought that this is the place where we would really love to bring more people
And will
Yeah.
be our
together.
next iteration of our big life vision because we kind of at the edge. We're saturating
Yeah.
the previous one, and it will
Right.
be a delight to calibrate to all those life book legends and
Oh,
amazing,
yeah.
leaders,
Mm,
and to go through that together. Yeah, so it's like Stahu said, the core, the heart of
yeah.
our work right now is the online mastermind, where
Right.
we are making this space so addictive, but in a good way, in a high vibe,
Ah,
really sharing and generous and grateful space for nurturing growth online. So whenever we feel depleted, we just plug into that group. We have Telegram and
right.
we're meeting weekly on Wednesday, as you know.
Mm,
So we
yes.
are aiming to bring it to like the next highest version of ourselves and of that
Right.
group with the new um, yeah, the visions and the
Mm,
limitlessness, basically, because we know how much is possible for those humans. Yeah. And we are not going to give up, and we're not going to, just go with 1%. We're aiming at 100% capacity and life abundance. And then from that naturally flow the retreats and the travels. So we are going to
mm,
Cambodia in February, and there will be another
About
exciting.
20 people going with us to Cambodia, like 15,
Yeah.
which is probably the limit, yeah.
Yes. And then
Plus our family. So it's
next
gonna be
exciting destination will be, and we
Oh,
can't reveal yet,
we
but
cannot
it will
right.
be in the
The mystery.
fall of 2026, so probably October.
Mm.
So we can't wait. Yeah,
Wow, how
we're
wonderful. You guys are truly, and if nobody knows, like Stahu and Kinga are doing this unthinkable idea and really drawing that out for people. What is unthinkable for you? And literally, you guys are living what was probably once unthinkable for both of you. And you're stepping into that now. And I just want to say I have so much admiration and I have so much respect for both of you. And I just feel so blessed to be a part of your lives. Thank you so much for being on Masterpiece Cafe. And to everyone listening, just remember the masterpiece is within you. And keep living grounded, keep staying ignited, and remember, you can build your masterpiece at any time. You're the architect. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so
thank you,
much.
dear.
Let's
That
keep
was
lighting up these fires inside. I love that. Good
Yeah.
luck, everyone. Thank you for this amazing space, Cheri. We love you so much.
Yeah, you guys too. That was amazing. If you want to know more about Masterpiece Cafe or the Masterpiece Movement, I have several offerings that I'm doing right now. I'm hosting a Sovereign Flame workshop. It's a 3-session group coaching meant to be for those that are ready to own their sovereignty. You can find more information in the comment section. I've posted the course where you can find information. You can go to the website and find out all about it. I'm also doing something called Masterpiece Aligned Legacy. It's a year-long journey where we have monthly meetings, and it's really only for a select few people who are ready to step into building their masterpiece. I serve humble visionaries and the quietly bold who are ready to step into their next chapter. And if you want a supercharge boost, join me at my retreat. It's next year in Telluride, and it will be absolutely amazing. Stillness, adventure, and you'll leave with a roadmap for your next chapter. See you next time on Masterpiece Cafe, where we focus on all the ways in which you can unfold your masterpiece life.